name is Nick Gates. I'm going to talk about technology in school curriculum. The first article I'm going to review is The 3 Trends That Will Define the Future of Education by Tina Brashon. The first area she talked about was collaborative, and she didn't just talk about students collaborating with students, but teachers collaborating with students, and then those students collaborating back with each other and then with the teacher. She also mentioned one of the main issues that schools are having with collaborative learning, and that's Facebook. Some schools have banned it while others have embraced it and tried to use it in the classroom. Schools that have used it have found that Facebook can help students learn something they might otherwise have an interest in. This shows that schools will someday probably be using Facebook in the classroom to help students learn curriculum a little bit better. The next thing that she talked about was tech power. On the right here you see a Google map of where I currently teach in Ord, Nebraska. Google Maps is a tool that can be used from kindergarten to 12th grade when it comes to social studies. For kindergarten, it's learning north, south, east, and west. For seniors, it's learning where voting precincts are in their hometown. There's so many different options with the technology out there that teachers just cannot ignore all the different tools that they can use to enhance their curriculum. The last one that she mentioned was blended, meaning that the students are going to learn outside the classroom with their homework or online discussions, and then bring it back in the next day and use it in the classroom or discuss it in the classroom or work with each other collaboratively on that material. The next article that I read was The Technology Transforming Classrooms of the Future by Kristen Rauschle. She mentioned, how schools have transformed from blocking the world to opening it up, to basically saying, bring YouTube in. She mentions a school that had blocked YouTube. I'm not sure as a teacher how I could function without YouTube. YouTube has so many good resources there, and it can help students in so many ways in different types of curriculum or just learning a simple task. YouTube is so useful for that. Thus, schools have changed from blocking it to opening it up. And she's talked about that the classroom is changing from the 4 walls that we used to know and the teacher standing in front of those 4 walls, and that was the only place you got information, to the world now being open to students. She talked about Twitter as a tool, not just for the students and the teacher, but for the teacher and the parents, for the teacher to reach out to the parents and say, this is what we're learning today. Instead of that student coming home and saying, I didn't learn anything, the parents can look on Twitter and see exactly what they learned about that day. Another thing she mentioned was text messaging, that schools in foreign countries that are a little less well off are using text messaging as ways for students to talk to the teacher, to work on assignments, and to get questions answered. You don't need an internet connection to text, you just need phones that can text. So a student can ask a question to a teacher and the teacher can respond back via text message almost instantly. She also talked about flipping the classroom, that teachers will be in a new role when it comes to the classroom. They will no longer be just the facilitator of learning. They're going to have to be working right alongside the students, learning what the students are learning. Well, whether it be technology or if it's the material. The teacher is going to be learning right alongside them the things that they're learning. And that's going to be a complete change from the way that I learn, the way that our parents learn. That's the future of curriculum in the classroom. She also talked about challenge-based learning. She mentioned the example of growing a garden, that these elementary kids wanted to grow a garden. Well, the teacher had them make a YouTube video about it and how they use math, how they use science to solve the problem of putting a garden at their school. Now, some challenges to this is culture and community. The communities will have to adjust. Parents particularly will have to adjust to what they expect their students to learn, and to expect their student to come home with this tool, the technology, whatever it may be, and for them to operate that outside the home. It's not going to be the textbook anymore. The parent's going to have to look at the technology they're using and then be able to help the student with it, or the student is going to be basically helping the parent. You're also going to have to see a change in students where they're going to not have stuff taught at them. They're going to be exploring for themselves what they want to learn. Another one you're always checking technology is cost. Anytime you talk technology, be it a Chromebook, an iPad, there is an obvious cost to it, and this cost will be something that school districts, communities will have to look at and say, what's the cost benefit? What can we afford to do to help our students become 21st century learners? Changes from my classroom. The implications of my teaching style. For me, I grew up with the teacher standing in front and then I spew the information back. That's not the way these kids learn anymore. We have to change how we teach. We have to allow students to take the material that we're giving them in our classroom and then run with it. And then we have to be able to help them run with it and to learn these skills that will help them in the future. So as teachers, we're going to have to learn new skills with technology as it changes, because if we don't, we're going to fall behind, and then the things we're trying to teach them in the classroom that are important, they're not going to want to learn or not going to grasp because we're not up with the times. You know, the opportunities for my students. As a social studies teacher, you know, you have the opportunity to see so many different things outside your classrooms. You know, for example, we can talk modern problems with a group in Omaha, Nebraska, 3 hours away, that may have a different view of the world. And it will open the students up to a world outside Ord, Nebraska, outside those four walls, and it gives them that opportunity to learn different opinions, different cultures, different aspects of what's going on in the world today. Thank you for listening.